there's no way you're not affected by family. Because as India Irie says, can't nobody hurt you like your kin. Everything is energy. People talk about it all the time. But what does it mean for individuals and families? I've never really heard anybody talk about this. So I just kind of want to put something on your mind so you can start to consider that whatever relationship you have with your family, however your family operates, there is energy. Everything is always vibrating, and they're vibrating at a particular frequency. Now, when we talk about people and individuals and their energy, we talk about people having certain vibes. Well, vibes, vibrations, that's energy. We talk about people being energy vampires, those people who come around and just suck the life out of you for different reasons and in different ways. Now, depending on how old you are, you remember when you had to turn the dial on radios and televisions in order to align with a particular frequency, because that's how you heard whatever channels, right? Well, I need you to understand that you are always vibrating as an individual. We all vibrate. You know what it is when you feel nervous and you start to shake? Well, you don't have to be nervous to be vibrating. Well, what is that? You are energy. And because you are energy, then whatever your thoughts are and whatever you are feeling at any time and whatever emotions those thoughts and feelings drum up, then that is what creates your vibration. And that vibration emits a frequency. And that is what determines what you are attracting, and that's coming back to you. Now I want you thinking about your family. So with this, you have to now contemplate what is the energy of your family, thus its vibration and the frequency. I've already done a video, a more detailed video on energy. In fact, there's a chart even that's provided on the video so that you can see exactly what's happening within you. And as we continue to talk about this, how this chart helps you to identify not just your energy, but other people's, and how you go from low vibrational to high vibrational and what all that means. Okay, I'll link it in the description of this video. I'm keeping these short because I want them concise so you can understand concepts as they build upon each other. Because these are things that if you start to think about, you also know what you need to change. Hi, my name is Zara Green, and I'm glad you're here. What I do over here is all things personal development, plus some spirituality. Today, we're talking energy and family frequencies. Let's get into it. I'd never really considered family frequency before. I mean, I understand that every single person brings certain energy to the family, but I hadn't considered the frequency once all of that comes together that a family might be vibrating at, what the family might be emitting. But what made me think about it is all the breakdown that's happening with family, especially after the pandemic and lockdowns, because it brought out so many fears and concerns and who was awake and who was not, who woke, who's not. And we've since even gone through even more enlightenment, I believe, because there are people who were just coming to certain awarenesses during that time. There are others who still aren't. Listen, people are at different levels, okay? And with those different levels, and depending on whatever fears people are operating from or how deeply one might be indoctrinated in different things, and particularly because things were so amplified through politics and religion and everything really, then I think it's necessary to look at the energies that each person brings and for you to even consider what fears you are operating from. Because if you can identify the fears, then you're able to overcome your own fears and really be impactful for the people around you, the people you call family, the people you say you love. Listen, I've been around a while, okay? And I've been teaching personal development for a long time, but I have not always understood this energy piece. Personal development is what I always worked on. So my resilience is off the charts. But all that means is I've trained myself to be mentally strong. That does not mean that I connected all of these dots. It means that when I got around family very oftentimes, I'd built up enough resilience to not be affected by the things family necessarily did. I allowed them to just have whatever vibrations they had for whatever time I needed to be around them. I was less affected, but I was not in the space of not being affected. And if you are just starting to understand this, there's no way you're not affected by family, which is all the more reason we need to understand this, mix in some personal development. I got a whole lot of that. Mix in some personal development so we can get this 3D reality straight and transcend it by understanding energy, vibration, and frequencies. Okay? So guess what's going to happen when you start to understand that you are energy? In fact, you are more energy than you are anything. We've been conditioned to believe that this is who we are. This is not who we are. Because what you are operating from is pure energy, and it is producing everything that happens within your body, everything that happens within your thoughts. I did a video the other day where I asked the question, what is the difference between your mind and your brain? Let me just give you a cheat sheet. Your mind is spirit. Your brain is body. Your mind is energy. Your body is matter. Your body does what your mind leads it to. And if your mind is energy, and that is where all of the stuff, your fears, your confidence, all the intangibles, that is where it lives. So if you are lacking in anything that you desire, then you have to energetically get to that thing so that you can become that, and then your body will follow suit. Are you following me? So fears, when you get control of your fears, here's what it means. It means that you are no longer controllable. There's no need to fear when you know who you are and you operate from that mind, that spirit, that awareness, that consciousness. If you're operating in fear and you and your family members don't get along, that means that everybody is operating in fear. And you've got a whole bunch of confusion. And when we've got all these different energies, then of course that creates conflict and confusion and comparisons and competitions and all those other kind of C's that I can continue to list, when the ones that we really need, be compassionate with one another, to be able to cooperate with each other, to where we truly can collaborate as a family, because every person in the family is equally important. And most people in families are operating on egos because it's all we know. All we've known is operating on ego, or just submitting to folk, or the one who's the most domineering is the one who tends to win, or the most manipulative. We don't have to use any of those fear-based tactics when we truly understand energy and operate in love. Love still wins, I'm telling you. Love will win, but it can't be that one person is trying to do it. It has to be a family affair, but one person can start it, okay? Because there is such a thing as one person understanding it enough to be able to start to share with family, not force on family. But I'm telling you, I will continue to say, this stuff is a lot easier when one person doesn't have to shoulder it all. One person shouldering it all ain't fun. So bring your family with you on this journey, all right? So what is your family's frequency? Who has set the tone for your family's frequency? Is it more fear-based? Is it more love-based? Is it more angry? Is it operating from space of depression? Are most people depressed? Is it grief because one person has gone on and the rest of the family hasn't been able to get out of that funk? What is it? Talk to me in the comment section. Let's keep this going, because the better the families get at this, then the more impactful we can all be in our world. Listen, we've all been conditioned, and there are certain fears that have shaped our families. And when we start to get to the bottom of these, get rid of the fears, then your family can start to rise and certainly strengthened. But I'm telling you, in order to really be able to do this so that we cannot be governed by the fears of the powers that be that have conditioned us and been marketing to us for all this time, then the way that we rise collectively is if our families are getting it together, right? So we go from each family to a neighborhood, to a community, to a city, to, that's how we spread this thing. But the fact is that energy doesn't need people nearby. The way energy works is that we're all connected. So the more of us that get rid of the fears, the faster we can rise, the more solid your family is, and the better we'll all be. Doesn't that sound good? I know. That's this in a nutshell. We're going to work on the 3D so we can transcend and get to the spiritual parts that can totally impact the 3D as it is. All right, that's it for this one. It's your life. Choose it just as it is. Own it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Change it. As long as you can breathe and learn, it can get better. From somewhere out here in these South American streets, ciao for now.